Hi, I'm Starborn. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not be afraid of the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. In fact, if you've been looking at our website, starborninstitute.org, you would already know that the title of tonight's show is Nowhere to Hide. And that's because we're going to be discussing the effects of a glorious full moon in Pisces that occurs this Saturday at 6 degrees of Pisces. Pisces is the traditional ruler of the 12th house of hidden enemies and all areas of confinement, such as jails or sanitariums, hospitals, prisons, or anywhere where you are sort of held back or held down. Part of that could be of your own doing, because Pisces also rules our hidden doubts and fears, and it rules escape. So if you're really afraid of something or you doubt yourself quite a bit, you may want to escape through alcoholism, drug addiction, or sexual promiscuity, or some sort of fantasy. So that's one way to escape. But because Pisces is a double-bodied sign, you could also want to escape some really heart-aching problem by being very creative. And Pisces rules dance because it rules the feet. So you may want to take whatever your vision is in life or your dream and put it to music and create something lovely out of it. So there's that kind of escape too. But the reason why there's nowhere to hide right now is because an unusual thing is happening in the heavens. There are 3 pair of planets, and they are all closely conjuncting each other within the pairs. And so that's 6 planets. 1, 2, 3 times 2 is 6. And so we have 6 planets that are compounding their own strength, because when 2 planets conjunct each other, they're so close within their orbits at almost the exact degree that they are each stronger because of that, and nothing can break a conjunction. So what we see under this full moon on Saturday is that there are 2 planets, a pair of them in Pisces, and that is because the full moon is there, but also Neptune, the ruler of the sign, is there, and they are very closely conjuncting each other. And since Pisces rules hidden things, I don't think there's any room to hide anymore, because there is so much light in Pisces right now. And so that simply means that some elaborate masquerade is going to fall apart, or it's some clever ruse, somebody who's sort of pretending to be a victim when they're not. That could be revealed. And anybody who's trying to hide something even from themselves, or have been kidding themselves about something, they're not going to be able to do that anymore, because there is so much light there. However, there's even more to it, because the second pair of planets is the Sun and Jupiter, and they are both in Virgo, the sign of analysis and facts and details, and the traditional 6th house of work and employment and your health. Those 2 planets as a pair closely conjuncting each other, which by themselves is excellent, because the Sun and Jupiter certainly mean that there can be a lot of facts or a lot of details that are exposed right now, and they can expose some clever cover-up right now, or maybe even sort of the details that come out could poke a hole in a clever cover-up. And that is why there's no room to hide, because these 2 pair of planets, 4 of them in total, are opposing each other exactly. So they're very strong, all of them, but they're not being too friendly to each other. And then the 3rd pair of planets are Mars and Venus in Leo, and they are closely conjuncting each other, and they are also trining Uranus in Aries, which is the other love planet. But both Uranus and Venus are going backward in their orbits, and that is an indication that a new beginning has to be reviewed. Or it can be that people are more or less having to play catch up with new developments in technology, for instance, and they may not be prepared for that. Or it can be that somebody who is very passionate, Mars rules passion, Venus rules love, some passionate pair of lovers or people, it could be married couples as well, may be panicked, and sparks might fly right now, since Uranus does rule sudden change and these planets are trining each other, when they realize they have no more room to hide. And once somebody realizes that they are trapped by the truth, actually, or the truth is exposed, it could precipitate some sort of a breakup or a separation. So that is possible as well. So we really have a very potent full moon coming up this Saturday. And I don't think anybody's going to, if you've been kidding yourself about anything, you're not going to be able to do that anymore. Or if someone has been purposely deceiving you, they're not going to be able to do that either. So I think the truth comes out one way or another. And remember still that when there are planets in fixed signs, that can be trouble too, because they can be harshly aspecting each other. And that is what is still happening. And that is because Venus and Mars in Leo are being squared by Saturn in Scorpio. Saturn is actually trining the full moon. That's good for making your dreams come true. But because it's squaring Venus and Mars, it means that if people want to go ahead in any kind of endeavor, first of all, it means gamblers certainly are going to lose, because Saturn is a very stern planet and indicates that the bills need to be paid. But also, people who are very ardent in their feelings are going to have to be able to back their feelings with money sooner or later, and the money could be a little bit short. And so there can be people who are even sort of jealous competitors now that can be wanting to push others aside, but financial justice will be done. Nothing's going to disturb that Saturn in Scorpio, because it is being so beautifully trined by the full moon and Neptune in Pisces on Saturday. So we can see a breakup or a split of some kind as people panic and realize that they've either lost a gamble, or their cover-up is revealed, or the mask comes off in one way or another. So that is a lot to look forward to, and it is indicative of what is going to be happening in the month of September, since the full moon is on August 29th. September has 2 eclipses in it, and so that could precipitate some sort of volatile change as well. All right, what does this idea of know where to hide mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Well, Aries, for you, I think that you're going to have to review or reevaluate some new beginning that you have already made. You may have made it even a few years ago. Maybe it's not that new anymore, but you might have made a change from one thing to another, thinking that it would really solve a lot of your problems and bring you a lot of honor and esteem and reward. But now with Mars and Venus trining Uranus in your sun sign, but both Uranus and Venus being retrograde, this is a time when you have to reevaluate your partnerships, your love life, and anything that has to do with gambling or sports or the entertainment world. Because these planets do not indicate that there's any money around right now, and that is because Mars and Venus are being squared harshly by Saturn in Scorpio, which is at the 29th degree of fate, meaning it's pay-up time for everybody. And if people don't have the money, there could be big problems. There's also the possibility that when you were making that change before, you were thinking there would be more money, but perhaps nothing has really happened, and that's why you need to reevaluate, because that full moon in Pisces is right behind your sun sign, Aries, and that means there is so much light in the background of your life that people can see anything about you right now. So if you've been kidding yourself or you've been kidding somebody else, they can see that as well. And so there is the possibility of some sort of separation or breakup, which might be for the best. There may not be anything wrong with that, because it's better than you being sort of caught in a trap, either of your own making or of someone else's. So I think that if you have an opportunity to go back to something that is more familiar to you, it could look a lot better right now, Aries, and I suggest you do that. One of the reasons why is because you may not have the skill level, the technical skill level, to move forward and make more money where you are. And that's why you should go back to something that you left behind, which could be extremely stable for you. Okay, what does it mean to a Taurus? Well, Taurus, This is simply a time when I think that you are going to do very well. And the reason why is you could benefit from some sort of deception that is being revealed right now. Or if the mask comes off and somebody who's been masquerading as a victim turns out to not be a victim at all, you may benefit from that because the full moon and Neptune in Pisces are sextiling your sun. But what is even better is that the Sun and Jupiter in Virgo, remember, dealing with facts and with our health and with accountability, are both trining your Sun right now, which is wonderful for you and could bring you additional information about some sort of good investment, or it could highlight your achievements at work, and that means that you could maybe manage your money a little bit better. And that could be real important to you, Taurus, because Venus and Mars in Leo are squaring your Sun, and Saturn in Scorpio is opposing your Sun, and that simply means there could be either love problems or there could be a little disillusionment about the money, and maybe you can get back on track with your budget right now, which would be great for you. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Well, Gemini, it simply means now that there is one planet in an air sign, and that can benefit you because it's your ruler, Gemini. And that is because Mercury has now gone into Libra and is trining your Sun, and it's also trining the Aquarian Sun. So there can be somebody rather nice headed your way, or there can be some good news about an amicable settlement or agreement, some sort of peacemaking, or there can be simply somebody coming very nice who's headed your way and can help you with a project of yours. So that's good. So the information is going to flow a lot more easily between you and somebody else right now. And it even can be that somebody very nice wants you to help them with some part-time or temporary project, and that would be much to your advantage. That could help you in the future, Gemini, so I hope you try that out. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Well, a Cancer, this is a full moon that benefits you greatly, and that is because the moon, your own ruler, and the Neptune in Pisces are both trining your Sun, and so is Saturn in Scorpio. And so it can be you that is deciding to sort of take the mask off or quit kidding yourself about what you really want to do, and instead you may be deciding, yes, I can afford to make a dream come true. Well, you don't need to hide anything, except this is a good time not to hide the truth from yourself, Cancer. You could try to be pleasing a lot of other people, but I think this is a very good time for you to really think about how to spend your time. In other words, there aren't enough hours in the day for you to please everyone and yourself as well without getting really tired. And you've already been through a lot of stress this year, Cancer, but there aren't any planets in your sun sign right now. I think this is a time when you may be deciding to offload some duties or responsibilities, either through retirement or simply cutting your duties down a little bit, maybe passing them on to somebody else, so that you can devote more time to a dream, ambition, or goal of yours, and I strongly advise you to do that. So this is a time when you may be thinking about stepping back or stepping down, Cancer, and the timing is excellent on that, so I wish you the best of luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Leo? Well, Leo, certainly there is no more room to hide for you. So if you've been taking a gamble, I think you've lost, Leo. And the reason why is that there may not be enough money around to support everything that you want to do. Remember, your sign is the sign of generosity and extravagance. And so it might be easy to sort of burn up your credit cards, but you better not try to do that, Leo, because there's no easy money around anymore. And that is because Saturn in Scorpio is squaring Mars and Venus in your sun sign. So with Mars and Venus being one of the planets that are conjuncting each other, you can be in a very good mood, or you can be very passionate about something right now. But if you're hiding anything, the sparks could fly as you suddenly realize there is no more room to hide or to kid yourself about something, and you may want to make some sort of swift change. But I don't think that's going to work out, Leo, and the reason why is Uranus is retrograde and Venus is retrograde. This is a better time for you to review your activities and how you feel about your loved ones. And that is because it could involve a child, it could involve a lover, it could involve some activity that you're really devoted to. And you need to ask yourself if you're spending your time wisely, if you have enough money to devote to something like that. And if you don't, then this is a time to sort of realize you've got to cut back somewhere. And the Sun and Jupiter are in Virgo right ahead of your sun sign. So by really careful analysis, you maybe can manage your time a little bit better and your money. And that will be for the whole coming year, which will be good for you, Leo. So it doesn't mean that you can be extravagant anymore. And it doesn't mean there are any more quick fixes either, because they're not. But you can still put yourself on more solid ground if you sort of downsize a little bit right now and get a little bit more practical. Okay, what does it mean to a Virgo? Well, Virgo, it's a good news, bad news time. And that is because the bad news is the full moon on Saturday, along with Neptune, is strongly opposing your sun sign, Virgo. But the good news is you have the Sun and Jupiter there, and they are being trined by Pluto in Capricorn, which means that you may be able to step into the limelight at work because management can really like how you operate or how reliable you are, or that you really pay attention to facts and details, which are very necessary, and also you're a good time manager. So that's the good news. It's just if you've been kidding yourself, or if you have been involved in any sort of masquerade or cover-up, then there's too much light there in Pisces and you would be caught. But that isn't generally a Virgo's nature. They like to sort of think about problems and then set about solving them in methodical ways that are somewhat logical. So I would say you're coming into a good time, Virgo, but you have to make sure that you're not kidding yourself about anything right now, particularly not about children's affairs or a loved one. And that's because, yes, Venus is in Leo right behind your sun, but so is Mars. And Mars is coming into your sun sign. And that's when you'll be really busy. But there can be a little trouble brewing in the background of your life regarding loved ones. And I think you need to sort of review all of that and decide what you want to do about it now, Virgo. Okay, what does it mean to a Libra? Well, Libra, Mercury is in your sign, which means that you can be really full of good ideas since it is a mental planet, and you can be communicating more easily to people now. And that can be, one, because you may feel that there are some options that you have or opportunities out there, so you might be reaching out to others. And this is a really good time to do that. And you should sort of go beyond your comfort level and just give anything a try right now, Libra, while you have Mercury in your sign, because you'll find the right words. You will be able to communicate very smoothly and clearly right now. And so I would take advantage of that because there haven't been planets in the air signs for a while. So you need to sort of reach out and touch, because I think you need to reinvent your future a little bit, Libra, and this is an optimum time to do that. So I hope you stick to that and never mind the people that are having cover-ups exposed. Instead, you just need to look forward right now, not backward. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Well, Scorpio, this is a very good full moon for you, just as it is for Cancer, because the moon and Neptune in Pisces are trining your sun sign where you have Saturn. Saturn is at the 29th degree of fate, and it is a very sturdy planet, a stable one, and it indicates people who can be somewhat frugal, but who like to work consistently at something in order to gain a lot of experience. So you could be deciding to put your money on people who are very experienced right now, or if you have been saving your money for quite a while, you certainly can afford to make a dream come true. I don't think you're kidding yourself about anything, and I don't think you're very sympathetic to anyone else who has been involved in some sort of cover-up or masquerade. So if people discover there's no more room to hide anymore, I think that you're going to be happy to wave goodbye to them, because they aren't anybody that you would want to trust anyway. So follow your own dreams, Scorpio, and it could involve some sort of redoing, some redecorating in your home, or even a move to somewhere else that is more stable and comfortable for you. And you should do that, and besides, you can afford it. Okay, what does it mean to a Sagittarius? Well, Sagittarius, this is a time when I think you can do just about anything you want, because after all, Uranus in Aries is trining your sun, and Mars and Venus in Leo are trining your sun. But I think that you instead need to really step back and re-examine your relationships and some sort of new offer that you may have received lately, or something new that you want to try. And that's because Uranus is retrograde, and so is Venus, and Venus is conjuncting Mars. And so that's a very dynamic and planet that could indicate jealousy or greed. And you sort of want to stay away from people like that, Sagittarius. And this full moon can be very challenging for you, because the full moon and Neptune in Pisces are squaring your sun, which means someone else is involved in a cover-up, or else you've been kidding yourself about something, and that won't hold anymore. And then the sun and Jupiter in Virgo are squaring your sun, and that simply means that the more details and facts that are revealed, the more holes are going to get poked in somebody's clever cover-up. And I don't think you need to be in the middle of all that, so this is a very good time for you to step back and reassess everything right now, Sagittarius, particularly your financial liabilities. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Well, Capricorn, this is simply a time when I think that you do benefit if there is some sort of exposure to a masquerade or a clever ruse or to somebody's cover-up. So as the details roll in, they could do you a lot of good, Capricorn. And that is because the full moon and Neptune in Pisces are sextiling your sun. So as long as there's a lot of light on things hidden behind the scenes, I think that as you learn more, it will help you make decisions, which is good. You'll finally learn the truth about something. And then the sun and Jupiter in Virgo are trining your sun where you have Pluto. So these two pair of planets that are going head-to-head are not hurting you at all, Capricorn. And in fact, the more details that you learn, the better it would be for your investments, for your work life, and also for your long-term security. So I think that all you have to do is stand back and look and listen, and whatever you find out is probably going to help you a lot right now. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Well, Aquarius, this is simply a time with Mercury in Libra trining your sun when you can get some good news. It could be about some sort of compromise or peace effort right now, or it can be news about a legal matter, since Libra rules the law, or it can simply be that there is some sort of halfway measure or something that appeals to you, particularly if it is artistic or a little bit ahead of its time. That could sort of pique your interest and make you want to go in a new direction. The direction you ought to go in, Aquarius, is back to something that you had done before in a different location. And that is because your own ruler, Uranus, is in the sign of new beginnings, but it's retrograde. And it is being fortified by Venus, and Venus is retrograde. So, I mean, that's not doing a lot of good. And so I think that if you're not happy where you are, you may hear news from somebody very nice that points you in a new direction for your future, and that's where I think you ought to go, Aquarius, while you have the chance. So keep your eyes and ears open for some good tips, because I think they're headed your way. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Well, Pisces, for a whole year now, you are really going to have to deal in a lot of facts and figures and even timetables. You're going to have to be much better about managing your time. And although you have dreams and concepts and visions, you're really going to have to bring them down to earth. And you could be realizing that right about now, Pisces, because the full moon and Neptune in your sign are being beautifully trined by Saturn in Scorpio, which means there can be some money around that's been delayed or held for a long time that could be coming your way, but you are going to have some constructive plan involved in that as well, or else you're just kidding yourself about some new start that you want to make, and I don't think that's going to do you any good. And the reason why you could be kidding yourself and why you have to concentrate more on facts and figures is because the Sun and Jupiter in Virgo are opposing your sun sign where you have the moon and Neptune. So the moon and Neptune are very visionary. But you've got to take whatever vision you have right now, Pisces, and put it down on paper and put a budget to it and keep doing that for a whole year while Jupiter is in Virgo opposing your sun sign. And that will become even more important in September when Saturn goes back into Sagittarius and squares your sun sign. So you're going to have to operate a little bit differently if you want to make a dream come true. And I think you've got to get a whole lot more practical about it, Pisces. And remember, you can make that dream come true, but it's not by doing what you've done before. It's by being a lot more practical. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. Remember, you can see the show anytime you want on our website, starborninstitute.org.